rise for a moment of silence and for the flag.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and with liberty and justice for all.
As a notice of this meeting was provided to the Westfield Leader, the Union County local source, advertised on January 7, 2016. Notification was sent to the Star Ledger, promptly posted on the Municipal Public Bulletin Board and filed in the office of the Municipal Clerk, informing the public in time and posted according to the provisions of the Open Public Meeting Law. Please, everyone, turn your cell phones off and put them on vibrate. It's very appreciated. Roll call, Ms. Ariano.
Mayor Lombardo.
Here.
Councilman Kukrow.
Here.
Councilman Martin.
Here.
Councilman Matthews.
Here.
Councilman Sarno.
Here.
Councilman Tedesco. Here. Council President Petrozelli.
Here. Ms. Ariano, minutes.
Regular workshop and executive session minutes for Mayor and Council held on July 12, 2016.
Motion to accept the minutes.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Communications, Ms. Ariano.
New Jersey State League of Municipalities, Mayor's Advisory.
Receive and file.
Township of Cranford Ordinance.
Receive and file.
Marianne Severton Family Thank You Card.
Receive and file.
Roy Valley Sewer Authority Meeting Notice.
Receive and file.
Township of Cranford Ordinance.
Receive and file.
The Leonardo Family purchasing 609 East Street and squaring off the property.
Receive and file.
Keith and Mary Locke, owners of 609 East Street, and regular space law.
Receive and file. Ordinances, public hearing on ordinance 16-14 as advertised on July 14, 2016. Ms. Ariano, please read ordinance 16-14 by title only.
Yes, Mayor. An ordinance authorizing the purchase of new, additional, or replacement equipment and machinery consisting of fingerprint machine upgrade equipment for the use of the police department and self-contained reading apparatus equipment for the use of the fire department and appropriating the sum of $36,500 from the capital improvement fund to finance the cost thereof.
Have you received any correspondence on 16-14?
None, Mayor.
Does anyone present wish to be heard on ordinance 16-14? Yes, sir.
Good evening, Mayor, ladies and gentlemen. Council Bruce Patterson, 325 Willow Avenue, and I would like to thank Sarah, Councilwoman Tedesco for at least using the resources with what we have. And initially, it was supposed to be bonded, but she looked into it. She worked with the CFOs. She came out with an idea how to actually gain money from within our system to pay for this and not bond. Because it's $36,000. I don't know what bonding would come out to be, $40,000, $45,000 to the taxpayer. So one taxpayer is saying, thank you very much, Sarah, for what you're there.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to close the public hearing on ordinance 16-14?
So moved. Second.
Do I have a motion to adopt ordinance 16-14?
I'll make a motion to adopt ordinance 16-14, Mayor.
Do we have any discussion at this point?
Second.
Second. Do we have any discussion at this point? Seeing none, roll call, Ms. Ariano.
Councilman Kukrow.
Yes.
Councilman Martin.
Aye.
Councilman Matthews.
Aye.
Councilman Sarno.
Aye.
Councilman Tedesco.
Aye.
And Council President Petrozelli.
Aye.
Ms. Ariano, please read 16-15 by title only.
Yes, Mayor. An ordinance to adopt a redevelopment plan for premises known and designated as Block 401, lots 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, located on South Avenue in the Borough of Berwick, County of Union, State of New Jersey, pursuant to the New Jersey Local Redevelopment and Housing Law.
Do I have a motion to introduce ordinance 16-15?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please, Ms. Ariano.
Councilman Kukrow.
No.
Councilman Martin.
Aye.
Councilman Matthews.
No.
Councilman Sarno.
No.
Councilman Tedesco.
Aye.
Council President Petrozelli.
Aye.
It's a tie, Mayor. You have to bring.
Aye.
The ordinance is introduced.
Okay, moving on. Council standing committees, reports, and other reports. Police, Councilman Sarno.
I need to interject Jeffco, are we still continuing with September 13th adoption date?
That's correct.
Okay.
I assume I was correct in saying that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds good to me.
Thank you.
Yes.
Is it tentative until further confirmed?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Carrying on. Police, Councilman Sino.
Thank you, Mayor. As part of our departmental firearms training program, the Garland Police conducted annual active shooting training Thursday, July 21st at Lincoln Franklin School. This is a cooperative training program where members of the Union County SWAT team work side by side with our officers, providing hands-on instruction regarding responding to and handling of a possible active shooter incident. Unfortunately, we all too well that this type of incident can and does occur, even in the smallest of jurisdictions. This training is not just geared toward an incident which could take place at our schools, but also ones that could occur at any building or company within the borough. It is designed to provide consistent tactics that can be used in Garland or when assisting other agencies with the incident. Mayor and council, along with the Garland Board of Ed, were invited to attend and observe, so as to provide them with a little insight into such incidents and the training that goes into keeping one step ahead of the curve. The ensuing question and answer session provided thoughtful discussion. Chief Underhill would like to thank Superintendent Quigley and Board of Ed for use of the building. Also, a special thanks to the Union County SWAT team's members, Captain Doug Stover, here in Garland, along with Union County Sheriff's officers, Lieutenant James Garant and Sergeant Eric Finn, and also Sergeant Ernie Schmidt of the Berkeley Heights Police Department for volunteering their time to make sure that Garland officers receive the best training available. That's all.
Thank you, Councilman. Any comments on the police report?
I do, Mayor, just a quick one. I want to personally thank Chief Underhill for inviting the council and the Board of Education to that. It was definitely very educational, and I know when I first walked in and you see them training, it's all too real, unfortunately, but we know we're in good hands, so thank you, Chief.
Thank you for your comment. Public Health, Councilwoman Kukrow.
No report this time, Mayor.
Thank you. Streets and Roads, Council President Petrozelli.
You sounded too happy about it.
Thank you, Mayor. The Department of Public Works completed their regular scheduled activities from July 12th to July 26th. In addition to their regular scheduled activities, they also performed street sweeping along Center Street and at the underpass, removed the debris from the top of all stormwater drain inlets on north and south side of the borough after each storm. Cut up and removed fallen branches along all borough streets and municipalities, properties from the storms on July 18th and the 25th. Elevated and pruned shade trees along the following streets and 100 block of Willow. Remove all pictures, shelving, and wall hangings at Borough Hall in preparation of the painting project. Prepare the council chambers for court on Monday after the project was completed. Perform major pothole repairs at the following locations: 400 block of Maple Street, intersection of Chestnut Street and North Avenue, Brookside Avenue, and the 500 block of Myrtle Avenue as well. 2 tons of hot mix asphalt were used for those repairs. And also to begin the Whedon sidewalk area along the municipality building fronting Center Street, South Avenue, and along Center Street between North and South. That's all for my report, Mayor.
Thank you. Any comments on the Streets and Roads?
The only caution I want to throw out there is there's a lot of sidewalk projects going on. Just be careful. I mean, I know I'm a runner and I'm always jogging around. I just want to throw out some caution to there. Just beware if the sidewalks they're missing for the time being.
Thank you. Okay, moving on, Fire, Councilwoman Kukrow.
No report this time, Mayor. Thank you.
Finance, Councilwoman Tedesco.
No report, Mayor.
Buildings and Grounds, Councilman Matthew.
Thank you, Mayor. After speaking with the CFO and the Recreation Director, Jack Sullivan, we've ascertained that there are sufficient funds in the Sports and Recreation Complex budget to purchase new soccer goals and to pay for needed tree work. As a result, the Buildings and Grounds Committee declines to pay for these expenditures. By way of information, the Buildings and Grounds budget is $97,000 for 2016, and $85,000 of that amount is consumed by service contracts. Of the $12,000 remaining, we anticipate spending at least $3,000 and probably going north from there to fix cracks in the exterior walls at Borough Hall and to replace Moby sheetrock in the police conference room resulting from a leak. That's all from my report, Mayor.
Thank you. Any comments?
Thank you, Mayor.
Yes.
First of all, I wanted to say it was a very nice meeting with Councilman Matthew and Councilman Martin. It was a total unanimous decision. And also, if I may, I know there was the soccer goalposts. I know I didn't want to get too much in the weeds with this, but maybe if there's signs, I don't know who's in charge of that, allocated, because it seems that kids were hanging on them and that's what caused the indentation. Maybe, I don't know who's in charge, but maybe if signs can be put up saying hang at your own risk, or this is being monitored like closed circuit TV, because I think that was the problem with them. I thought maybe it was in the nets, because I went down there and inspected them all, and they all felt sturdy to me except for the slight little bit. So I thought maybe, signs could alleviate that going forward. And also the soccer field was a disaster. I know Councilman Matthew, when I got there, he was picking up garbage, so I don't know whether there was a party over there or what. Otherwise, I thought it was a very nice meeting between the three of us today, so thank you very much.
Any other comments?
So we want to hang signs that say no vandalism and no hanging from the nets?
There was the post. I just thought it would be something proactive to do, because as kids are wont to do, that's what caused the indent at the top of the post. Not so much the little ones, because there's two different sizes. But I thought that would be good going forward. Maybe they would be a little bit more courteous to the equipment that Garwood pays for and supplies for them to be able to enjoy that big soccer field.
Yeah, and part of the reason was that the original posts were probably an aluminum composite or something, and kids hanging on that could bend it easier than the steel posts that will be replacing them. But it can't hurt to have a couple of signs that say no vandalism or whatever. I'd be in favor of that.
All right, I'll see if, I'll get with DPW superintendent, see what we can do as far as that. But just getting back to, I don't really want to have a big discussion, but the new soccer goals that they're going to purchase, are they steel or are they the same ones?
Steel.
Yes, he's going to do steel. He said they're like going on 14 years where he has them where he works and still going strong. He said that, as Councilman Martin said, they were of a lesser material, and that's why I brought up last time, no way should something this expensive be damaged in 2 years. But if steel lasts for 14,
PVC, I think you put it in terms of PVC pipe. Almost.
No, I was knocking it around. It's aluminum, but I mean, but the steel, like I said, I think that could last forever. 14 years for Mr. Sullivan, he said on his. I mean, no need to replace something every 2 years when a little bit of extra money could go a long way and making it last longer.
Okay, thank you. Laws and license, Councilman Martin.
I'm sorry?
Laws and license, you have a report this
No
evening?
report,
Okay,
sir.
thank you. Recreation, Councilman Martin.
Yes. For the recreation report, 162 children are registered for this year's summer program, with about 100 kids participating on a daily basis, and the feedback's been positive from parents. The senior brunch, sponsored by Garwood Rec, has been scheduled for Sunday, August 14th, from 12 noon to 3. It'll be held in the Columbia Club Hall on South Avenue, which is basically the Knights of Columbus Hall. A resident of Garwood donated a foosball table to the Rec Commission, currently located in the complex meeting room. An open discussion ensued regarding a suggested change to the Garwood Sports and Rec Complex application, in particular to the right of first refusal. Discussion was held regarding the potential field renters for the upcoming season, and the chairman stated a possible soccer rule change may increase the use of the soccer field for youth ages 8 to 10 years old.
Thank you.
That is all from my report.
Any comments or any questions? Hearing none. Garwood Senior Citizens Liaison, Councilwoman Kukrow.
Thank you, Mayor. It was a very full meeting, so I'm making up for the last council meeting where I had nothing to say. I would like to personally thank the Liquid Church of Garwood for supplying at least 50 potted plants to the seniors group. This was an extremely nice gesture and pleasant surprise for everyone for them reaching out to the community in such a manner. It was a lovely little plant. I was happy to walk right out of there with one and brought it home. Everyone welcomed new member Ann Evans from the village for joining the group. Upcoming events. There's an ice cream party at the fire department on August 11th from 12 to 3, includes entertainment. Call Paulette for further info. The Sunday brunch, Councilman Martin very nicely brought up, so I can omit that. An afternoon in Italy, Wednesday, September 28th at the Brownstone. It is sure to be a fun-filled day with a menu of Italian specialty dishes, music, entertainment, and dancing. Leaves the firehouse at 10, returns at 4. The cost is $48 for Garwood residents, $50 for out-of-towners. For further info, please contact Shirley or Jenny. I will provide numbers if anyone is interested. Free cancer screenings on August 6th from 12 to 4 at the Grand Centurions Pool in Clark on Madisonville Road. To pre-register, call the Union County Office of Health Management. I'll provide that number to anybody that's interested. I gave the group the info provided to me by the mayor, who given me the Olympics for the seniors in Woodbridge on September 9th, 10th, and 11th. I asked for a raise of hands for anyone interested to provide further info, not so much for any hands raised, so at least I provided the information that you kindly provided to me. I would also like to stress again to any seniors and residents to please make sure you are diligent when answering the doors just when someone knocks. There was a concern brought to the police department about an unknown person, and frankly, it was very worrisome as this same person knocked on several doors, okay? I wanted to say that I was misinformed in my recent statement concerning what is done with leftover food from senior events. The food is given to employees in town, and the rest is discarded for sanitary purposes. The senior director informed me of the procedure, so I was mistaken about that. We had two guest speakers that were set up by the mayor. Thank you very much. They were from the Union County Bureau of Mosquito Control. This was an extremely informative presentation. I was surprised to learn that this organization is one of the oldest in the country and is 104 years old. We also learned that mosquitoes are the biggest cause of deaths for human beings, than anything else. Tons anything. The biggest, that was like 700,000. They brought bottled samples for the group to look at from the larvae stage to maturity. Everyone declined that option. We also learned, aside from all the diseases created by these pesky bugs and the many deaths as well, that the male is bumped off once mating is complete. I was very happy I ate lunch first, as the many informative slides they showed of these buggers was gross. I think the masses got restless with the length of the presentation as it was cutting into bingo time. But it was 100% very well received, as the gentleman really stressed the possible deadly nature of the bugs and how to protect oneself in taking care of something that has always been considered just a nuisance. And the best way was to have a swatter, of which they brought mini ones. Very nice. That's all for my report, Mayor. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any comments?
They all get bumped. They always get bumped off, don't they? Once they suited their purpose.
I have,
Well, it was part of the presentation, Mayor.
I have a question.
Yes.
You mentioned the brownstone. What
Yes.
was that date?
Oh, I'm sorry.
I am of the age.
The brownstone
The
is,
28th?
August
let's see,
28th?
it is, God, I can't. September 28th.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Okay, moving on, Libraries Mayor's Representative, Council President Bezzazelli.
Thank you, Mayor. Last Wednesday, library was taken over by a large inflatable planetarium called Star Lab. About 26 kids entered the inflatable dome and learned about the planets, stars, solar systems, and galaxies in the night sky. Thursday, 22 children joined us for Lego Club. They made incredible creations that can be seen in our display case and on our Facebook page. Today, 14 children made balloon racing cars at the Kids Craft, and tomorrow all are welcome to watch Eddie the Eagle take flight at our Wednesday movie at 2 p.m. The library is also pleased to offer 5 new laptops for public use courtesy of Al Dente Alliance. The laptops are for Garwood adult residents only. Some other restrictions apply, so ask the circulation desk for all details. Summer hours for the library started the first week in July. The weekday hours in the library will remain unchanged. However, the library will be closed on Saturdays during July 1st or during July and August. Regular Saturday hours will begin again on Saturday, September 10th after Labor Day. That's all for my report, Matt.
Thank you. Any comments on the library report? School Board Liaison, Councilman Sarno.
No report, Mayor.
Thank you. Thank you. Celebrations of public events and holidays, Liaison, Councilwoman Tedesco.
No report, Mayor.
Thank you. Union County Air Traffic Noise Advisory Board Representative, Councilman Matthew.
No report, Mayor.
Thank you. Administrative Review Committee, Councilwoman Tedesco.
No report, Mayor.
Thank you. Historical Committee, Councilwoman Tedesco.
No report, Mayor.
Thank you.
You can tell it's a summer.
Okay, Officers Report, Ms. Ariella.
Chief of Police Bruce Underhill, monthly report for June 2016. Municipal Court Administrator LaShawn Durant, monthly reports for April, May, and June 2016.
Do I have a motion to accept the officers' reports?
So moved, Mayor.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Moving on to public comment. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to address the mayor and council? Please step to the microphone, state your full name and address, preserve your comments to 3 minutes.
I'll wait to the end.
You don't get extra minutes, though.
Extra minutes, okay. I'll speak then.
Step up, sir.
Takes time to come here.
Can I ask you a question before you begin?
Go ahead.
It's a slightly out of line.
Go ahead, what's your name and address, please?
Have you ever gone to a meeting where you didn't get up and talk?
And I've even thanked freeholders. I mean, it's amazing. Yes, those things are.
Your 3 minutes start now.
Oh, God. Oh. Good evening, Mayor, ladies and gentlemen, council, Bruce Patterson, 325 I believe in the buildings and grounds report, Councilman Matthew mentioned something about saving money in there. I don't know, I didn't hear exactly what it was, but if so, I wanted to thank you, Councilman Matthew, in saying we didn't have to spend extra money because it's already in the budget. So thank you very much on that. Taxpayers are dying from 1,000 drops. Thank you. Also, signs, you're talking about signs at the rec complex. I brought this up before, so I guess for Councilman Petrozello, you know, it was about riding bicycles and animals, you know, they're letting dogs run around in there. So,
Yeah, those signs are up already.
those signs are up already?
These are additional signs that they're asking.
All right. Well, we're going to die from so many signs too, so that's pretty sad. But
Sign pollution is real.
Also, back to the redevelopment plan, I'd like to at least thank Attorney Renaud for his explanation. It actually did leave a couple of questions still outstanding. And I was just wondering, can the council, I guess the only choice they have is voting yes or no. What happens if they have any concerns? How could that be addressed? Can you actually tweak a plan? You know, because the plan, once it goes in place, you know, we can't go back if there's issues. So, you know, and moving on, I'd probably be writing a letter with some additional proposals and ideas that I'll be doing. So I guess if you could explain that. And just one last question, and I guess this would be Attorney Renaud also again. On the agenda is 16-242. The Division of ABC is granting a special ruling. I'm just wondering, what does that mean, special ruling? So, that's it. Thank you very much.
I'll answer. It's a pocket license that became a pocket license so many years ago. And the state will only allow it to stay a pocket license for a certain amount of time. That's when they can automatically renew just through me and the governing body. That time has passed on this license, and they have to go to the Attorney General and get a special ruling to allow the mayor and council to renew that license. They got that special ruling for 2 years. So for 2 years, mayor and council can consider renewing that license. After that time is up, they have to go back and get another special ruling.
Moving forward, it always has to be a special ruling? Or
Because it's a pocket license. The state of New Jersey does not like liquor licenses that are in people's pockets. They want me to use them. So this is how they keep on top of them.
Oh, okay.
They'll only let it be a pocket license for a certain period of time, and then will no longer issue special rulings. You have to make calls. You have to write and tell them why you're not using the license, and they decide whether or not they're going to allow you to continue to keep it in your pocket.
Oh, that's the director of ABC. That
I believe
determines
the
it?
Attorney General.
The AG?
They go to the Attorney General, yeah.
The Department of Law and Public Safety, of which the Attorney General is the head, but yes, it's the Division of Alcohol and Beverage Control in the Department of Law and Public Safety.
And just through you, if Attorney
Mr. Brown,
Renaud.
would like to address that question.
Well, let's see. First of all, the plan can be amended, again, by ordinance. You can always amend the plan. What else? Could you make changes in the plan? No, you'd have to, I mean, if there were changes that were wanted in the plan, they'd have to go back. At this point, it's the planning board's plan, so they'd have to go back to the planning board. I don't remember all the questions. I jotted them down, I think that was it. So yes, you can amend the plan. Understand a redevelopment plan, any redevelopment plan, which is adopted by ordinance, it is essentially a zoning ordinance. In other words, you're making a new zoning ordinance for this particular area. That's what it is. And just like any zoning ordinance, it can be amended.
I guess I just wanted to maybe add to what Mr. Arnaud said, or Mr. Arnaud can clarify what I'm about to say. But in response to Mr. Patterson's earlier questions that he said before he felt they were unanswered, in terms of the plan, it's really just setting general guidelines for that piece of property. It's not the site plan, which would come later before the planning board, or a potential agreement with the redeveloper where you're working out financials and studies and things like that. So I think that is important to clarify, and Mr. Nod, feel free to clarify my clarification, but just to point out for the public. So.
Yes, that's correct. In other words, you're not approving of the development. It's just, again, as I said, it's like a zoning ordinance, so it's approving of the ordinance that sets the framework. The next step really is for there to be a to designate a redeveloper and then have a redevelopment agreement, and then the designated redeveloper applies for, first they have to develop a plan in a lot more detail than anyone has seen so far. And then the plan in form for a submission for site plan approval then would go to the planning board for review and approval, modification, rejection, whatever.
May I? Where in that process do we implement the redevelopment attorney to be able to guide us along? Because obviously, as Councilwoman just said, modifications can be made. So the modifications are made by council, and then it goes to the planning board, and then they juggle it around and do whatever. So when would the attorney come into play? Because he would be the best guide.
I would anticipate that will be, I don't know, when are we getting, what was our date?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. So we should be getting proposals tomorrow, so it's going to be as long as it takes you to review and determine what you want to do, and then act.
As far as the attorney goes, the deadline is tomorrow?
I'm accepting proposals. You'll see them. They'll be in
Okay.
council meeting.
Okay. Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, anyone else for public comment? If not, we'll move on. So we'll move on to unfinished business, consent agenda. Do I have a motion to accept the consent agenda?
So moved, Mayor?
Do I have a second? Second. Roll call, please, Ms. Ariano.
Councilman Kukrow.
Yes.
Councilman Martin.
Yes.
Councilman Matthews.
Aye.
Councilman Sarno.
Aye.
Councilman Tedesco.
Aye.
Council President Petrozelli.
Aye. Do we have some resolutions that we believe in the consent agenda? Resolution 16-245.
Want me to put you up?
Mayor, would you like a
This
motion?
is what you want, right?
I have to read it.
No, I don't have to read these, they're on. I have two that are not on here that I have to read, but they're on here, I don't have to read them. I just have to
Okay,
vote on
that's
the
a
second.
motion.
Can I discuss this too?
After the
Yes.
motion and the second, you'll have to
Yes.
discuss it.
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution 16-245.
Do we have a second? Second.
Now you have discussion, Joe.
Now we have discussion, if I may, Councilman Sarno first. This has been discussed in the Finance Committee, it's been discussed in the budget process, and also too, we received a detailed report from the administration office. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Mayor, I feel bad for cutting off Councilman Sarno, but as finance chair, if I could just give a little history to this, if you don't mind, Councilman. Thanks, just to add to what the mayor said. I have a few more words than he does sometimes.
Thank you.
Sorry. So we did meet last week as a finance committee to discuss this, and it is an item, as the mayor mentioned, that has come before our committee and also the council as a whole since the retirement of our last tax collector, who was full-time in November. During the budget meetings, it was explained by the administration that a part-time tax clerk could not remain in the capacity permanently in order to effectively run our finance department. And at the time, they requested of us as a council either 2 part-time clerks or 1 full-time clerk. Either option was funded in this year's budget. Due to limitations on office space, the administration has now requested the position be made full-time. As outlined in the memo that everyone up here received on Friday in our council mail, the position's responsibilities will not be limited to tax collection, but will encompass all areas of the finance department, which will allow for segregation of duties and cross-training on many of the duties within the finance department. This arrangement improves the efficiency of our borough finance department through the cross-training and comes at a cost of $3,000 less than last year with a full-time tax collector whose duties were limited to tax collection. And so I just wanted to give that little bit of history to it and add some numbers to the discussion. And thank you, Councilman Sarna, for letting me go first.
No problem. The Finance Committee voted 2-1 on this. I was not in favor of it. Because you go back in January, okay, you look at the CFO, she was voted to have a raise of $17,000. At the time, it was said that that would save the borough about $33,000. Well, that savings has amounted to really almost a couple grand, if nothing at all. If we really wanted to talk about the CFO's performance and a corresponding raise to go along with it, it should have been discussed in public as such.
Please? This is not about the CFO, we're talking about tax collection.
I haven't heard anything yet, I'm listening.
Instead, we have a false sense of savings that was done in January, okay? And 6 months later, after this raise was approved, we have a false narrative of that, and the real story comes out is that we really need a full-time employee, okay? This was sold in January as something different, and now here we are 6 months later saying, oh, this is the only thing we can do. I am not in favor of this. I knew back then that a full-time employee would come. That was why I voted no at that point in time, and the savings really, there is no savings, okay? Back in January, that is gone. That's all I have to say.
I do have something in response to that, but if the council would like to know.
Yeah, just a few things. I do remember when this whole thing was going on in January and the 2 part-timers as opposed to a full-time. Obviously, this always comes into health benefits, which is always a big concern. So that's why I thought the 2 part-timers would be more cost-effective. As far as this goes, is there any way, is this revenue neutral? If you substitute 1 full-time person in place of those 2 part-timers, what is going to happen with the benefits? Because that's a big concern. And like I said, that was the reason we went for the 2 part-timers. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is that why we went for that in January?
Well, we didn't really go for it in the sense that, I agree, we had a consensus as a council, and at the time the administration said either way would work for them. 2 part-timers as clerks in that finance office or 1 full-time in that capacity would suffice. But really, we did not, by resolution or anything, hire 2 full-timers. What we've been going by is a tax collector with a certificate at a cost of $17,000 a year for that salary, and then also a part-time tax clerk. Whether we have 2 part-time tax clerks or a full-time, and I don't have the name, the exact titles here, accounting and payroll clerk, is basically either way it was funded in the budget. There's not much difference because of you either have a full-timer at a salary of $35,000 plus benefits, or you have 2 part-timers who have to make a certain amount anyway. So either way it was budgeted. The number is really unimportant there, but I get the number of $3,000 less than last year, including the health benefits. I just want to point that out.
Yeah, because like I said, I mean, but the benefits are a huge concern, right? I'm just trying to make sure I get this, absorb this correctly. Like I said, if a full-timer is what's needed for what the borough needs, then you're going to have to supply benefits, okay? So can there anything be done to be able to accommodate what the borough needs as far as a full-time person in lieu of the 2 part-timers and make it cost neutral, revenue neutral.
It's $3,000 less than what we were paying for.
Going forward for how, what,
Right now it is. Right now, at this point in time, that doesn't mean down the road. So I agree with you. Yeah, this is.
What do you mean by down the road?
what?
A year from now, 2 years from now, that all changes.
Yeah,
With the
yeah.
cost of health benefits.
Well, with 2 part-timers, we never have to consider health benefits. That's why I'm just,
Well, with 2 part-timers, you have to consider that you have to fund a lot of money for me to restructure my entire office and add a desk, because there was no place to put another person. And we're not asking for more. This is what we had. You want to save money on my staff. I don't see you trying to save money on any other department or any other person. I mean, I've expressed to some of you, I invited you to call me, come talk to me, but you didn't. I asked, the people who will speak to me about this. Eileen, you're one of them. You have been in my office. I've showed you the problems. You've seen them firsthand. We have no place to put another person. We would go with the 2 part-timers, but that's why we haven't done it yet, because we're racking our brain. Chief Underhill has been invited in to tour the area and sees our dilemma to make a suggestion or try to help us. He's very aware of the problem. Nobody is coming to see what I want to show you or talk to me, but you assume that we don't need this. You're absolutely wrong. We need this person to be full-time. It's cost you absolutely no money, because there was a change in health benefits for a different employee that reduced their health care. So it's a wash. You don't have to ever appropriate any more money. We're not asking you to appropriate a penny more. It's like you're giving us a present or something. It's what we need to function, to run the office, to staff it, to be proper, to take care of the residents. You're not listening to your administrator, your CFO, and I would say the chief also agrees with me, if he would stand up and say so, that he also knows that we need this staff person. So you have the 3 top people telling you this, at savings of $3,000 from the employee who left last year, and you're still resisting it. I really question that.
no, excuse.
I really do.
No, Mrs. Ariano.
very upsetting.
I'm trying, miss. I'm just trying to be able to have all of us work together to a common goal of, satisfying this.
But that's not
You
what's
know.
happening. It's like, it's coming from my office, so it's no. I'm telling you that
No.
we had a full-time tax collector. She was not even tenured because she just got her certification. She was limited. We patiently waited for that retirement so that we could progress into the future in our office, and we're on the cuff of that. Except for you're not listening to us and you're getting in our way. We got this employee. He's fantastic. His mother and his grandmother are tax collectors elsewhere. He has experience in the system. That's why we've managed, because he has a little bit of experience. If we didn't have him, we would not be managing. We need to give him more work. He's very capable, but he needs more hours in the office. If you didn't have Sandy as your tax collector, and you had a full-time tax collector, you would pay them a minimum of $60,000 a year, and they would only do tax collection, and they would tell me that's all they're doing, because that's what that certification gives you. If you don't believe me, go call the municipalities and ask how much tax collectors get paid. Ask them. Tax collector has to be certified. Mr. Clerk could be in school, CFO could be in school, and assessor could be in school. You can appoint them active. Not a tax collector. You have to have a certified tax collector by law. You cannot not have one. If this one walks out, you have to replace them immediately, or put in one of those temporary people at $100 an hour, $1,000 to walk in the door, and they'll only come for 4 hours and do tax collection. You pay somebody $400 a day just because you won't listen to your administration, begging you to do what the office needs to accomplish our daily tasks and serve the public. It's the most busiest office in the municipality. It's overburdened, and no one in my office complains, but everybody there does the job of much more than one person. We're asking you, at no expense to the taxpayers, to give us what we need. Everybody else gets what they need. Why does my office get put through this? It's not fair, and it's wrong. This employee, this position needs to be full-time, or you need to give me money to restructure my office. I gotta move files, walls, and things, and add another spot for someone. I gotta put a computer in, I gotta run a line, I gotta do all kinds of things. If that's what you want, that's what we'll do.
And I respect that. That's why I'm trying to see if something can be worked out. If you're saying it is revenue neutral, The benefit.
Less.
It's less.
Yeah.
And the benefits as far as the other person that they're no longer receiving health benefits, that's.
Kind of,
the-
sort of.
Where was all this in January? That's the only point I made.
Didn't have, that part didn't happen in January.
It
Did
should've.
anybody read Sandy's memo? Did anybody read the memo?
Mayor, could the elected officials go back to the commenting on this, or should we
No, I'm
just
not
turn it
finished,
over to
Councilman, I'm
Mr.
sorry.
Okay,
I'm not finished. Did anybody read the CFO's memo?
That's the first thing I mentioned.
Did everyone read it?
Yes.
Assuming they all did.
Yes.
Okay, so everybody saw there was a savings in healthcare in there? So then why are we asking that question?
Well, I'm trying to reiterate so everybody understands what we're talking about here. I'm trying to be able to give the borough what it needs and so have everybody understand that it's revenue neutral and we don't have to worry about benefits going down the line, then I
don't know what you mean by
I don't
benefits
see a
down the
problem
line.
then, except that why wasn't it done in January? That's all I'm asking.
Councilman?
I just wanted to be, I just wanted to, before I get too far afield here, I remember the budget meeting, specifically asking the CFO if two part-time people would be sufficient, or does it have to be one full-time? She specifically said at that meeting, two part-time would be sufficient, and that was listening to her. Secondly, yeah, that, there's a pattern here, Mayor, of there's a certain faction on this governing body that sells something to the public under one set of savings, and then a few months later, there's the kind of sotto voce diminution of that savings with less fanfare. If I remind you, Mayor, you were part of this with the Administrative Review Committee. You distributed a letter to the borough saying how much we would save if we fired Fred. And then less than a year later, excuse me, Mayor, I'm not done.
I'm not gonna excuse you.
No, I'm not done. Mayor, I'm not out of order. You don't like hearing what I have to say? I'm sorry. Go right ahead, Mayor. You don't like what I have to say? You're not a tyrant. I don't know what you think, all right? Let me finish what I'm saying, and please stop being rude. All right? And then a year later, you participated in hiring another person. And there was no I asked you to redistribute a letter correcting your original letter, which is false. The same thing happened in January. False statements were made to the public, and Councilman Sarno, unfortunately, was very prophetic in this. He knew this was coming down the line, and his cynicism has been validated, unfortunately. I wish he were wrong. And that's why I'm voting against this. There's plenty of room in this building. There's a mayor's office here, Mayor. Can they use your office?
How can that person help the public if they're...
How often do you use that office? How often do you use the office? Are you willing to give it up?
Also, the judges in there.
Are you
I'm not.
willing to give it up? You're not willing? Okay, there you go. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for answering.
At this point,
Mayor, I am sorry, but I do want to state for the record that before the new council people were even sworn in this January, we discussed this matter in executive session. And I think because it's no longer something that's in executive session, it's been resolved and it's come out in public, I can at least say this, that we all knew very early on that a tax collector who was also doing the job of CFO could not be the tax collector for $17,000 without any help, and that a part-time clerk would not satisfy that office forever. We did know that, so I just want to point that out for the record. And one other benefit I just want to point out as well, to Councilwoman Kupero's questions about health benefits. And I know health benefits come up when you hire full-time, but at the same point, they are entitled to that. So please take into consideration as well health benefits versus the statutory raise for a tax collector making $55,000 as a salary compared to one making $17,000 for a salary. So that's just another little factor to consider. Thank you.
I think another factor. I'm sorry, before we go any farther, just, it hasn't been too bad, but we have to do a couple of things. One, don't discuss the performance of any particular employee. And I guess that's my main question. The executive sessions are not for generally the kind of discussion that you're having about whether a position should be created or whether an employee is needed. That's fine for open session. Avoid comments about the performance of existing employees. I'm sorry, Councilman, I didn't mean to cut you off. Just wanted to get that out while we have a break.
Sorry to interrupt you. I think what we need to do here Let's have a certain balance. And the balance is that we have to make sure we are listening to the people who are closest to the work. Sandy Bruns is very close to the work. Tina is very close to the work. And I'm sorry I'm going to say this, they're both wonderful, dedicated employees who do a great job. I believe what they're saying is true because they're closest to the work. And we don't pay enough attention to employees who give us what we need to know in terms of input about what the work requires. That's why I'm voting yes.
Then just one final comment, if I may, Mayor. The thing that we all wring our hands about is that we have no control over health care and pension benefits. And the people who will vote yes for this tonight are minting more employees who will be entitled to those health care and pension benefits. So next time a council person says to you, or a mayor says to you, oh, there's nothing we can do about this, say, hey, didn't you just hire somebody else on the DPW and hire somebody else in the office? Well, that's doing something about it. That's exacerbating the problem.
Thank you.
Can I have one more thing?
Last thing, then we'll
Yeah,
call the roll call.
Can I address Councilman Sarno? Am I allowed to do that, Councilman?
Peacefully, yes.
Is there any negative? Like I said, I understand the plight of both sides, believe me, health benefits and stuff like that. Will there be any negative going forward if we hire this one full-time person with the benefits intact as far as here tonight? Do you see that? I mean, like I said, I'm all in favor of giving what the borough needs. I understand what's going on. I had a complete tour of the disaster that's back there. But I also am very, very ambivalent about health benefits. I mean, it is an escalating cost to all of us and the taxpayers. Is there any way that this can be done neutrally that you feel, because I trust your judgment financially, that we can move forward on advancing this with a full-time person? And getting rid of the two part-timers. I'm trying to be fair
Right
to
now, there's one
everybody.
part-timer, just to clarify.
Okay.
It was brought, it was,
Honestly.
yeah, there was. It was brought up in the finance committee, isn't that right? And I offered a suggestion, it was shut down. I said-
About the space, you did mention the mayor's office as well.
And I also mentioned the salary exchange. Okay?
What was that, Councilman? Can you elaborate on that?
Okay, what I was suggesting is giving that into, what I wanted to do is make this guy full-time when he passes an exam, becomes a certified tax collector, okay? Then, when that point in time comes, you reduce the salary of our tax collector, the trade-off. That's the only way you get my vote on it.
Is
That's a great,
that-
that's a fabulous idea.
Yes.
Explain to the councilman that you can't reduce someone's salary, tax collector.
Yeah, I can explain that. You can't reduce the tax collector's salary.
Can we remove it then, in its
No,
entirety?
she has a 4-year
I'm
appointment.
not, well,
Then that explains my January vote then.
yeah.
Okay, well, in January, the council voted 4-2 for the tax collector. I know you voted
Not
no.
me.
No,
No, I
you voted
didn't.
no.
I did.
It was voted 4-2 to have a tax collector
I
for a
voted
3-year
yes
term.
to reduce the
agree.
salary of $1,000. Then
I think
voted
did I
no.
vote on that?
Yes.
She
You
did.
voted.
She voted
Yes, I did.
I believe you both did.
Uh,
no, I did not. I would
Well, that's-
check my record.
No,
Because
no, I
Four
did
two, I
check the
think.
minutes, I believe you voted.
Because
yes.
I was very concerned about the health benefits. I mean, like I said, we're all up here doing the same thing for the people out there. Is there any way this can be rectified? Either, I don't know, can there be further discussion about it? Can there be a consensus about anything else that can be done so that we can all come to a
Can you
meeting
offer
of
a
the mind?
suggestion of what else could be done?
Well, I thought that was great, but I guess it's not a suggestion.
You can't put my staff back here in the corner where they.
I never even knew there was a roof back
The
there.
public comes over there, so that's out of the question. My staff has to be accessible to the public. They help the
Then what do
public.
you do with the judge? There's a judge back there.
Brothers, the judge is hardly here.
I think at this
It was a
time,
viable
I
option,
think
it'd
we'll
be a
call
viable
for,
option.
Sariama, I think at this point, we're gonna call a roll call.
I'm undecided about this, so that's the whole thing, so.
Councilwoman Kukrow, if I may, and I know this discussion's gone on a long time, but, the matters that we discuss are important up here. Quite honestly, I almost really don't understand why this issue has become such an issue and such a football when the office was staffed at a certain level last year with the tax collector at $55,000 a year plus benefits. This year, we're looking at having our CFO be the tax collector as well, which was voted, like I said, 4-2 in January, and to have an accounting payroll clerk So they're handling not just tax collection, but even more for $3,000 less. Quite honestly, it's just, it makes sense and it's good. So now that you've, I don't want to get too much into the employee conversation, but when you have one employee leave and then you're able to still save money in that office and make it more efficient, I feel that's net positive. So that's why I am voting for this. And I don't, to back up what Ms. Ariema said, I feel as though we do not nitpick other offices in the same way. If a police officer leaves and we hire one at a step above probation, no one really questions it. No one has, we don't have 30-minute discussions about that. Yet we did when it came to this office here tonight. So again, I fully support the police department and their staffing and how they've done it. So Chief, please don't take that the wrong way. But I just want to be equitable when it comes to the departments.
Well, I wasn't
Thank
here
you.
last year, so I have no idea what was going on. Okay.
That actually happened this year with the police department. But it's okay, it's a lot.
Mayor, can I quickly weigh in?
Please, Chief.
Just a quick comment, okay? Has nothing to do with taking on a new employee full-time. Has to do with the building. We're quickly outgrowing this building. Okay, for storage, for employees, for this court, and this council. We've had to move meetings to the school because we can't accommodate here. I've personally remodeled my own apartment twice in the last couple of years. So we are running out of room. And there are sensitive things in the mayor's office and the judge, which the judge shares. It's not a place for an office. To do whatever you have to do out here, it's going to cost some money. Just something to think about. We're outgrowing our space.
Thank you, Chief. Okay, roll call, Ms. Ariello?
Councilman Kukrow.
Yes.
Councilman Martin.
Yes.
Councilman Matthews.
No.
Councilman Sarno.
No.
Councilman Tedesco.
Yes.
Council President Petrovich.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, who voted yes. I appreciate it. My staff greatly appreciates it. Thank you very much.
Resolution number 16246.
I don't have to read it.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve resolution 16246? Do I have a second?
Second?
Roll call, please, Mariano.
Councilman Kukrow.
I'm not sure why we're canceling the meeting.
We have no business. I don't
No.
know, we're just canceling it.
And that we first talked about it, Sarah and I just presumed that we were going to have another meeting that month. So that's basically it.
You think there'll be nothing to discuss? Because I think we should still have two.
Well, it's to a
All
vote,
right,
so.
okay, all right,
Let's vote, and then whether it wins or loses, whatever.
Okay, no, I don't want to cancel it.
So you voting no to this resolution?
Correct.
Councilman Martin?
We just want to confirm, we've got nothing.
All right, no.
Okay. Then I vote yes.
Councilman Matthews?
I'm voting no. I thought Mr. Locke thinks we had something at the next meeting.
Councilman Sarno?
I feel the same way.
Councilman Sarno?
No.
Councilman Tedesco?
You know I like meetings, so no.
Council President Petrozelli?
Yes.
The resolution failed.
What does that mean?
Or no. The meeting will take place on August 9th.
Well, just clarification, for Mr. Locke's benefit. I mean,
There'll be nothing for Mr. Locke on the August 9th meeting. It's not, it won't happen that fast, so. He has to make application with a fence permit, has to be denied, and then you would be notified, and then you would talk about it, and then I would prepare a resolution in a subsequent meeting. That won't happen in 2 weeks, but we'll see. He's gonna come see me tomorrow.
And Mayor, I'd like to, there's a fair tax funding resolution that Clark just did. Can I, if I can't do it now, can I add that to the
Well,
August
you need
9th
to-
meeting?
Hold on a second here, because I have 2 resolutions that are not on the consent agenda. One I sent you yesterday morning, concerning fire department equipment. May I read that resolution?
Please.
Resolution 16247, whereas a proposal has been received from New Jersey Fire Company for the purchase of 12 Scott carbon wrap cylinder-less valves with accessories and installation in accordance with the proposal attached here too. Whereas said supplier represents the Borough of Garden, attends to the contract division of purchase and property in the Department of Treasury for supplying said equipment at the price offered to the Borough of Garden, $10,076.40. Whereas the clerk of the Borough of Garden has received notice of award concerning the supplier for the contract period. Now therefore be resolved by the Council of the Borough of Garland authorize the purchase of the aforementioned 12 Scott carbon wrap cylinder-less valves with accessories and installation in accordance with the quote of $10,076.40. And that the clerk is authorized to enter such order on behalf of this borough and sign such documents as may be required to consummate this transaction. Be it further resolved that the award is quote subject to the Borough Treasurer executing appropriate certification of funds.
Do I have a motion to accept this resolution?
So moved, Mayor.
Do you have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please, Mariano.
Councilman Kukrow.
Yes.
Councilman Martin. Councilman Matthews.
Aye.
Councilman Sarno.
Aye.
Councilman Tedesco.
Aye.
And Council President Petrozelli.
Aye.
And on to your resolution, I sent you an email that I have this resolution prepared and ready to go. You can do it now or wait.
I'd like to do it now.
Okay, may I read the resolution, Mayor?
Yes.
Resolution 16248, resolution supporting the fairness formula equal school funding and property tax relief, whereas the Constitution of the State of New Jersey provides for the maintenance and support of a thorough and efficient system of free public schools for the instruction of all the children in the state between the ages of 5 and 18 years, and whereas New Jersey schools are funded through a combination of state, federal, and local dollars, and whereas state aid is currently allocated to the school districts using a weighted formula rather than equal school funding, and whereas Governor Christie has stated a funding formula that puts higher value on one child over another is morally wrong and is then economically destructive. Every child has potential, every child has goals. No child's dreams are less worthy than another child. No child deserves less funding from the state's taxpayers, and whereas the governing body have pledged their support for Governor Christie's fairness formula, which ensure that all students have equal funding to be successful and to provide property tax savings to borrowed residents. Now therefore be it resolved by the governing body of the Borough of Garwood, County of Union, State of New Jersey, that it hereby concurs with and supports the governor's initiative to amend the Constitution of the State of New Jersey to require that state funding to school districts other than special education funding be an equal per pupil basis, and be it further resolved that copies of this resolution be forwarded to New Jersey Governor Christopher Christie, Senate President Stephen Sweeney, Assembly Speaker Vito something, and our state senator, our two representatives in the General Assembly, Union County Clerks, and the New Jersey League of Municipalities. That's it.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to accept this resolution?
I'll make a motion to accept this resolution.
I'll second it.
Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Kukrow.
Absolutely, yes.
Councilman Martin.
Yes.
Councilman Matthews.
Yes.
Councilman Sarno.
Aye.
Councilwoman Tedesco.
Aye.
And Council President Petrozelli.
Aye.
That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. Move on to payment and claims. I'm sorry, any new business of the council this evening? Seeing none, we'll move on to payment and claims.
Be resolved the following claims be, the following claim is approved being the same or hereby paid or properly signed and verified. The payment of payroll as listed is hereby confirmed and ratified.
Do I have a motion to accept payment of claims?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please, Ms. Ariano.
Councilman Kukrow.
Yes.
Councilman Martin.
Yes.
Councilman Matthews.
Aye.
Councilman Sarno.
Aye.
Councilman Tedesco.
Aye.
And Council President Petrozelli.
Aye. Thank you.
Yes.
I know. Thank you. Okay, adjournment. The regular meeting of the Mayor and Council will be held on Tuesday, August the 9th, 2016, in the council chambers at 7:15. Workshop session will start at 7 p.m. Now, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.